What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today we're for a new Madden 23 realistic rebuild, fresh off of devastating loss last night. We are going to be realistic rebuilding the Las Vegas Raiders, who off the street Baker Mayfield and the Rams came back to beat them. Everything's terrible. I'll tell you right now. Because I want to start with current rosters, everything. We have Josh McDaniels here. I think that's the first step one. Get rid of this guy, right? Get rid of the coach. This guy sucks. Sucks. Absolutely sucks. But what we're going to do here is a realistic rebuild. We've not recently, but we have already in the Madden 23 cycle rebuilt the Raiders. And in that rebuild, we stuck with Derek Carr for too long. So we're going to use the help of the 2023 and potentially 2024 draft classes. And we are going to make this Raiders team a Super Bowl champion. We're using the updated rosters, which is good and or bad. Depending on which way it's bad because there's no more X Factor for Darren Waller. It's good because Josh Jacobs is reflective of how goddamn good Josh Jacobs has actually been here in the 2022 NFL season. Been sensational. You can make a legitimate argument he's the best running back in the NFL this season. You can make that argument. You absolutely could do so. Davante Adams is heating up as of late. And really, it was until that hiccup against the Rams where I was like, man, maybe this Raider team's figuring out they're going to go on a late season push and they're going to squeak in the playoffs. We potentially still could do that, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to hold my breath whatsoever. But again, I said I updated the rosters. We're active in season where the Raiders are actually at. Max Crosby just got himself his superstar X Factor. There's no Jonathan Abram, no more Abrams tank. Things are changing here for the Raiders. Are they changing for the better? Are they changing for the worse? I don't know. I know the offensive line sucks, and I know that my plan here in today's rebuild is we're realistically going to send Derek Carr to the end of the curb and throw him in the trash. He's just not good enough. He's just not good enough. He's not that guy. He's not. Derek Carr, I don't know if it's that injury that he suffered, like right when he was on his MVP season, like to a lesser, he's kind of like Carson Wentz, where like he was good and then he got hurt and he hasn't really been the same. But he's just not the guy, man. I don't know what other way you could play it. So I don't know if we're going to play ourselves into position to draft a quarterback here in 2023. Take a look at a Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, or whomever. Or maybe we're going to look towards 2024. We give Derek Carr one more year. And then we have the class, you got Caleb Williams. You got Quinn Ewers. You got Drake May. A lot of studs in 2024 as well. But what I do know is that our current quarterback is in college, not Derek Carr, as to who's going to be the man under center that's going to lead this team to a Super Bowl. So without further ado, let's get into the realistic rebuild of Madden 23 of the Vegas Raiders. So let's take a look with our free agents as we currently are kind of just chilling with not a lot. We have Jermaine Illuminor, who went up a rating, and I feel like if we can get him on a one-year Band-Aid, it's just one less spot because we have to completely rebuild this offense, this offensive line. There's so much work. It's not going to happen all in one offseason. Probably can move on from Furl, all things considered. Didn't really work out there. I think Moreau is solid, but with the massive contract on Darren Waller, you don't really need and don't really utilize a whole lot of two tight ends. Probably fine. We got Jayon Brown, I think 3 years, given his age. Keep until he's 30, which is fine. And of course, he wants a little more money, which is not shocking. We have Anthony Everett, who does have the dev trait. We'll throw him a 2-year deal. Get him locked. He's grateful for the opportunity. He's grateful to kind of stay here in the Patriot. But Josh Jacobs got to get re-signed. I feel like he can do it all. He can catch with the backfield. He has enough juice, which, speed was always kind of his issue. Was that he was never fast. Still can outrun people and can run through people. Josh Jacobs, amazing. And him and Davante Adams really are carrying the load here for the Raiders here in 2022. Rocky Sin, 3-year deal. Got the star dev. Hopefully him and Everett don't lose the dev traits, or at least don't lose them relatively soon. So we'll offer him 21 mil, get him the lock-in. Sign in on the dotted line. So the good news, as we closed out year one of the 2022 season, we lost pretty much every game except, a nice momentum-building upset over the Chiefs week 18, even though they were likely resting their starters. But the fact that everyone kind of just chilled helped out our draft pick a little bit. Derek Carr, 29 touchdowns, 12 picks. Yuck. Josh Jacobs, sensational. 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns. Doing the goddamn thing. Davante Adams, uncoverable. 94 catches, 1,200 yards, 10 tutties. Renfro, 8-6. 8-4 for Darren Waller. Really, I'm excited to see with a brand new quarterback under center, be it this offseason or next, you know, what these three weapons can do with Josh Jacobs running the football. Defensively, Max Crosby, sensational. 95 tackles, 27 TFLs, 17 sacks. Absolute disgusting, and he needed so because Chandler Jones was incredibly underwhelming. No one else really did anything. Honestly, interceptions also very bad. So it's never a great rebuild when you're like, well, we need a quarterback, we need an offensive line, defense underperforming. You know, when the laundry list of things that you do were, you know, terribly wrong or underwhelming is incredibly more one-sided than, you know, the Josh Jacobs of the world on our squad. Makes things a little tough. Defensive player goes Max Crosby, already has his X factor, so that's not really going to help us out too much. Could be a nice XP boost, I suppose. Looking for the rest of the award winners here. Max Crosby. Hey, shout out to Max Crosby. Shout out to Daniel Carlson, who's already a superstar as well. One thing that I will say, that if I had to admit that this Raiders squad does right, because we want to try to find some positives outside of the positive that, you know, we got a little momentum beating the Chiefs close in the year. It's another year that we're close to removing Derek Carr as our starting quarterback. Is that in the days of special teams being underrated in Madden, the Raiders back in the day with Janikowski and Leckler always had like their top two players were kicker and punter. And we're almost getting back to that with Carlson and Cole both being superstars, one of the best special teams units in the NFL, because their offense sucks so much that you got to punt it a lot. You got to get good field position battles. And the 2022 Super Bowl goes to the Philadelphia Eagles, 17-14. Brandon Graham, I would almost assume at that point, had a fumble recovery, sack fumble, some form of that to help secure the victory for my Eagles. Love seeing that. As it relates to dev traits, as we clear out our lockers, Josh Jacobs up from a star dev, now a superstar, and rightfully so after the year he had, and also very close to becoming a 94 overall. Wouldn't be surprised if he hits 99 and gets himself a set of gold cleats before today's video is out. And on the defensive side, we did have a little bit of regression as Chandler Jones, probably after the year that he's having, has rightfully so lost his X factor and is down to superstar. Here are my targets in free agency. We have the number 4 pick in the draft. Just keep that in mind. So we're going to look at strong safety Taylor Rapp, 25 years old with a star dev. We're going to come in with, you know, respectable offer. Same goes for David Long Jr., very underrated linebacker for the Tennessee Titans. I think him and Diablo can really be a nice 1-2 punch for us at linebacker, kind of retooling everything from Perryman, from Jayon Brown. Juwan Johnson, a little bit more affordable than Foss Moreau to come in and be our backup tight end. And I'm going to look at Jerry Tillery more so, just chasing the dev traits, and he is a scheme fit for our 3-4 front. Can we get them all? I think we should be able to get them all. Optimism is kind of high that we're going to be able to get all of our targets. Juwan Johnson is kind of the outside. I don't really care if we don't get anything up. But we got Rapp, we got David Long, we got Jerry Taylor. That's a whole lot of star devs coming into the squad. Outside the draft, I have no idea who is going. I don't know if I trade up. Here's what's going to happen. Let's just see what happens. Pick 1 should be Bryce Young. Pick 2 could be CJ Stroud. No, honestly, that's kind of who I'm hoping is going to fall here. There's no way he was going to go over Justin Fields. So you know what? We'll rip the Band-Aid off. I was kind of thinking, you know, next year's draft class, but CJ Stroud to the Raiders. The Raiders stay put around top 5. This could happen. This could be previewing what the quarterback room could look like for the Raiders in real life in 2023. Derek Carr in some form of a bridge quarterback mentor role. I think Derek Carr would be a good mentor. And then, you know, with the Raiders not being bad enough to get Bryce Young, they go for the next best thing, which is CJ Stroud. Oh my God, there's no dev trait. Come on, what are we doing, Bengal? They go to the second round. We almost had to go BPA. I wanted to go on the defensive line, more so nose tackle. One doesn't exist. Tuipulotu would be great, but all the other top guys that are like in this range, you know, I'm not getting a guy double F. You know what I'm saying? And then you go on the offensive line. There are definitely some options. DeJuan Jones screams a Raider pick, just massive human being, and see if he can kind of pan out. But it's really, do I go DeJuan Jones or do I go BPA at a spot that we could absolutely use an upgrade at slot corner? Clark Phillips III to Utah. Now we're almost like chasing dev trade as well, especially with CJ Stroud not popping the dev. So I'm gonna go Clark Phillips. Oh my God, I thought for sure you'd have one. Take a look at our draft recap. It feels like, you know, me and Bengal kind of been on the same wavelengths since I've been using his draft classes as far as like popping guys with devs And while we got great ratings here in this draft, no devs, not one single dev trade. Get a couple 60s, Lampkin, Billingsley, Benton, Eric Gilbert, athletic tight end, 67, all regular. 5th round, great value, Dante Demas out of Maryland, popping with a 73, but he is normal dev. We got the Canadian Matthew Bergeron at right tackle in the 4th round at Syracuse. He's 70 normal. Cedric Van Pran, the center out of Georgia, just some depth there. He is normal. Clark Phillips, at least he's popping 76, which is great. Most likely we'll see the field as a rookie. And there has to be a silver line to CJ Stroud. I mean, we are going to play him because I think Derek Carr is also a 75 overall. But, I mean, actually, that actually kind of eliminates our silver lining. I was going to say, if we're doing like a bridge quarterback with Derek Carr, there'd be no worry if CJ Stroud had hidden dev that he would lose it because he's not playing in year 1. But I think we're going to throw him to the Wolves here. He's going to have to be aged. We got 4 years left. He needs to not only hit the ground, but he has to hit the ground running so that we can get off that normal dev. Cool within the room. Demas, the youngster out of Maryland. Devontae Adams wants to take him under his wing. And for us, you always want, especially for Devontae Adams, let's get some of that route running. And we'll go medium route running. I mean, big body receiver in Demas. Could add that dimension because we don't need a slot in Renfro. And take the +2. We'll take the +2 route running as well. So ahead of the debut, which we'll hop on the sticks, we'll see what we can do with CJ Stroud. I want to see flashes. I don't want to go as low as putting no expectations, but I don't want a whole lot of pressure on the kid. 2+ touchdowns, get a victory on the road at Lambeau Field. It's a winnable matchup here against the Packers. Let's get Devontae going. He's probably pissed there's no more Derek Carr. That's his boy. That's his buddy. And no better way to make him forget about his buddy than to force feed him touchdowns. And that is your first career passing touchdown for CJ Stroud. Look at that easy pocket, easy slant to one of the best wide receivers getting revenge against his old team. And we go to the shifty, grindy, lunch pail slot, Hunter Renfro. Another one. There's a big time debut. CJ Stroud, man, just cutting through the Packers defense. I wish our defense would have put up a little better effort, but 42-31, an absolute shootout here in week 1. 186 yards rushing for Josh Jacobs, 273 and 3 for CJ Stroud, out-dueling Aaron Rodgers and starting the CJ Stroud era out with a massive victory. And we absolutely crushed it. We'll go, let's go ability. I never know which one to pick out of those. So we'll go +3, throwing a pressure, CJ Stroud. Nice. Cool, week 3. So very early in his rookie season. And CJ Stroud, AFC Offensive Player of the Week, 373 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Did have an interception, but with that upgrade, not only, we need to be paying attention because he needs at least star. We're not going anywhere too far with CJ Stroud, with him stuck on a normal dev. He's not going to be able to elevate this squad. So I'm glad that he's playing well in the sim, because that should go a long way here in this rookie season. Let's get him that Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is almost a guaranteed dev trade increase. I bring it live right before it's contract time, ahead of the Minnesota Vikings matchup. Week 11, we have a breakout for our quarterback. We're going to rely on the sim for him to earn this, but it's getting off normal to a start, which is usually fairly attainable. Throw 1 or fewer interceptions and have 300 scrimmage yards or 3 total touchdowns with CJ Stroud. So literally just don't cost our team. You don't even have to win. Just have a nice game against the 4-6 Vikings. Let's get to 500 and let's get our quarterback off the bronze dev. 33 points would likely do it. Come on. Come on. Another big performance. Yes, sir. That means, if we could go on and get Offensive Rookie of the Year, there's a very legitimate shot we could end year 1, his rookie season, with a superstar dev for CJ Stroud. And he absolutely earned it. Almost 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks for CJ Stroud in his breakout game. With our $32 million, as far as looking at contracts, I think Bilal Nichols with that dev trade. He wants that 2-year deal, 26. Absolutely no problem with that. But I think we can move on. We got Van Pran in the draft at center. And, yeah, I like Amik Robertson. I loved him coming to LA Tech. But we just don't need the depth right now. All right, so Benton. Keanu Benton out of Wisconsin. Barely played. He had a dev. I was like, there's no way he's going to hit. He's still like 65 overall. But we'll take a star dev at nose tackle. Of that 10,000 XP we also earned, putting him into run stuffer because that's what he needs to be for this D-line. He is up to a 69 star dev. At the end of year 2, the turnaround has been remarkable. We'll ignore the fact that the Chiefs went 16-1. We went 11-6. 5 wins last year, up to 11 wins with the addition of CJ Stroud. Looking at how we got her. CJ Stroud second in yards, 5,300, 37 touchdowns. I'm not going to say that he played himself into Rookie of the Year, but I'm optimistic. 1,500 yards, 19 touchdowns for Josh Jacobs, which is absurd. CJ Stroud also had 3 rushing touchdowns to add to his total. And who needs Derek Carr? 116 catches, 1,800 yards, 11 touchdowns. Devontae Adams, over 1,000 yards for Hunter Renfrow. Solid year out of Darren Waller, and solid year for sure out of Dante Demas. Late round pick, 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. Underrated wide receiver out of Maryland. Defensively, over 100 tackles for both of our middle linebackers, David Long and Diablo. Would love for one of those to go up dev come season's end. 14.5 sacks for Max Crosby, 11 for Chandler Jones. Love seeing that bounce back year from Chandler Jones. Tillery kind of came in as a low-key free agency signing. That's a hell of a year from him as well. 48 tackles, 19 TFLs, 5 sacks. Interception numbers could be better, but I love seeing Clark Phillips, our second-round pick out of Utah, tied for first in the team with 2, as well as 75 total tackles. Looking at the yearly awards for the number 1 offense in the oh no. Well, hey, that's an AFC or NFC. Sorry, Will Levis. That might work out well for us. CJ Stroud, 3rd in the MVP. Offensive player that goes to Derrick Henry. Devontae Adams, runner-up. Defensive player that goes to Myles Garrett. Offensive rookie that goes to CJ Stroud. So we got that, which could be huge come season's end when the dev trades go up and down. Demas coming in number 5. Defensive rookie of the year goes to Van Ness of the Chargers. Clark Phillips coming in number 4. The rest of the individual awards, wide receiver there goes to Devontae Adams. Okay. I'll take that, man, for year 1. All those things combined with the turnaround, which is what we wanted to see, combined with the fact that we already have a dev trade in hand. My goal this year was not only to get a freaking playoff victory, 24-14, but was to get CJ Stroud off of the normal dev, which we've already done. We got the playoff victory. We'll keep rolling here against the 10-7 Titans. And we fall short, 24-20. We went the first playoff victory in this new regime. This is definitely a lot to build off of here in year 2 going into year 3. 2023 finishes with the Chicago Bears defeating the Titans 28-14 in the Super Bowl. But how does that all fare for our roster? Closing out the year, do we get our superstar on CJ Stroud? And we did! Let's go. Not only that, we're going to be able to get Derek Carr's ugly contract off the books. Josh Jacobs is up to an X factor. No dev trait regressions on the offense. Flipping to the defensive side, we had, unfortunately, the dev trait regression of Chandler Jones kind of continues here, which is unfortunate. But with the Benton in-season dev trait, I think we're still further ahead. David Long did lose his star as well. So our linebacker core took a little bit of a hurt, but still very happy, especially where this thing is trending on the offense. So it's $40 million in savings. Let's rip this Band-Aid off and feel the relief. Oh, feels good. I'm not even a Raider fan. Feels good. We're trying to fix the offensive line, finish the offensive line here in free agency, especially with that additional Derek Carr money. We got Jedrick Wills. Not a lot of competition there, but I was more so like, you know, I could kick him into guard just as easily. Tristan Wirfs at the open market. I literally went with the best offer. Ultimate player friendly, and I even went above that, and we're still second behind the Bears. Doesn't mean we'll miss out on him, but also means we miss out of him. We did get Jedrick Wills. Because we were so good, we had to wait for our draft pick at pick 28. My board kind of got destroyed. I got like a safe pick. That's pretty much where I'm at. We got Paul Peak, who's like not really a scheme fit, but also looks pretty dang good, if I'm going to be honest, out of South Florida. The stats look great. The bench press looks great. However, even with Keanu Beaton hitting his dev, he's still, you know, on the wrong side of 75. And we have an absolute monster named Nick Beck, who I already know is going to be good. This is going to be a guy that's probably going to push him right away. And 46 reps on the bench press. That's going to be our guy. And he pops hidden dev. And he has 99 strength. Good God. That is an Al Davis pick. There we get the successor to Darren Waller. He looks awesome. A, catching traffic. B, catching. A, run block. And he's a hell of an athlete. Best athlete, arguably, in the class. Jameel Frost out of Oklahoma State. welcome to the Raiders. I'm still looking at a guard, and the best guard, anytime you look for a guard, you can look left guard, center, right guard, really any offensive lineman, let's be completely honest. We got Steve McLean here at Ohio State, A, impact block, chance for A, potential pass block, but the athleticism off the, I mean, that's copy and paste. Athleticism off the charts, that's kind of what you do when you're blind picking here. So we're getting Steve McLean, hidden dev center, likely will slide to guard out of Ohio State. Why not grab another tight end? It's the best guy we have. We did kind of focus a little bit of scouting on tight ends just because Darren Waller's getting up there in age. And he's still here. Bryce Justice, 6'5", 270. A, catch in traffic. B, run block. And another just very good athlete. First in the 40-yard dash. It's absolutely surplus requirement, but we got him as kind of BPA. No dev trait. You know, you need 3-4 tight ends on your roster. Get Eric Gilbert in the draft last year. Justice and the other guy makes up a nice room. All right, take a look at our draft recap here. Feel pretty good about the draft. Got a lot of targets we want. Got our hidden devs, which we were looking for, what we're kind of chasing. And every pick was almost in the 70s, which is exactly what we'll take. We got a 72 fullback in the 7th round. A couple depth moves. Justice, 74. Normal dev in the 4th. McLean, 76. Off the top of my dome, we're going to move him left guard right around. So let's just see what the rating got. Him 76 center, fine. What are you going to be a guard? 70. They usually go down rating. He went up. He's 77. We got a 77 hidden dev. Day 1 starting left guard. Okay. Jamil Frost popped with a hidden dev. He's not as good as Justice, but it's the dev trait. I'll take the 2-point overall less to have the hidden dev for Jamil Frost. And Nick Beck, which is not a pat myself on the back pick. We know what happens when you see these 350-pound plus D tackles, that they're going to be good. But, I mean, the hidden dev, they're not always guaranteed a hidden dev. 99 strength. Another, I think we got, 2-3 day 1 starters here. We had 2 starters. I think Nick Beck's going to start, and McLean's going to start. And then we have, between Frost and or Justice, our successor to Darren Waller, which, hell of a draft. Can't ask for better than that. You're through the goal of getting back to the playoffs. Here is what the squad is looking like as far as changes. Well, McLean's going to start at left guard. Offensive line, okay, Bergeron in to right guard. He's already up to a 78. And Jedrick Wills, our big free agency signing, is going to get the start at right tackle. Defensively, Beck will get the start at nose tackle. Sucks, but it's just nature of the business. Going to go with guy with the higher upside. I would love to see, come season's end, either one of our 2 starting linebackers, maybe even Clark Phillips, who will be starting in the slot, go up dev trade. 6-1 here in year 3. Very happy with the trend that this squad is kind of going up towards. Now it's time to talk contracts. We got $88 billion. AKA, if you want to get re-signed, you can get re-signed. Now, this is where we're going to have some tough calls. Tillery could be upgradable. Might want to bring him back in the open market. Diablo hasn't really developed as nice. Everett's getting up there in age. Same with Chandler Jones. Moreg, very interested in returning. So let's give him, sure, a 3-year deal. Keep him with here for the remainder of the rebuild. We have Renfro. Couldn't really see us not having him on the squad as our slot. He should age gracefully. We got Nate Hobbs at corner. Real nice corner. We'll go $5 million, and I'll give him $4 million. We're going to give him a 5-year, 45. Get him locked in. And we're still going to go into free agency. Man, getting Derek Carr's contract off the books really opened things up here for the Raiders. For how you can build this team going forward. I always say this every time, but I'm not going to get used to it because more often than not, you're in the wild card. When you see this at the end of the year, you just assume you lost. We went 13-4. We were the 1 seed in the AFC. Year 2, CJ Stroud, we were the one. Not only were the 1 seed, maybe even more impressively, we made the Chiefs 8-9. We scared the Chiefs off. They're the #1 reason why rebuilding any team in this division is brutal, because you go up against the Chiefs. CJ Stroud, amazing. Just shy of 5,000 yards passing, 41 touchdowns, 7 picks. Copy and paste here for Josh Jacobs. Elite. Elite Devontae Adams. Renfro, Waller, Demas. Don't need any receiving help. Diablo over 100 tackles. We got 4 picks. Taylor Rapp. We got, okay, the sacks are down. I don't really know why they're down, especially for Max Crosby, who's been great for 2 years. But if we take a little bit of a regression on the sacks, and it means our offense is playing at the #1 team in the AFC pace, we'll take it. Josh McDaniels has guided CJ Stroud to an MVP. That's one of the lighter MVP wins I've seen. I'm not going to complain. He's the poster child. He's making the thumbnail, and anytime the guy that makes the thumbnail gets MVP, you know it's going to be a good time. He's also quarterback of the year. So, I mean, you can pretty much just guarantee that CJ Stroud's going up to an X factor. He got his first playoff win last year. So I'm expecting to see a little bit of a run. I don't want to be one and done. I want to get to the AFC Championship game. That's the next step, and we don't want to lose one and done to a divisional rival in the 10-7 Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson sucks, and we are in the championship game against the 11-6 Tennessee Titans. Super Bowl on the line, and the MVP, CJ Stroud, gets the Vegas Raiders in year 3 of a 5-year rebuild into the Super Bowl against the Green Bay Packers, the Davante Adams revenge game. What did the Green Bay Packers do? They didn't dwell. You know, they weren't waiting for the development of Christian Watson. They went out and got Justin Jefferson. They stole him away from the Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be a banger. Let's get it. Look at CJ Stroud ahead of this game. We got 5 points of upgrade. We have a brand new superstar. I'm telling you right now, he's not staying freight train. I don't know what that's about. Why would you give anything? Like, he should be like bazooka. You could give him literally anything that's not freight train. Don't think CJ Stroud is, I think they're stereotyping here. He's not really a dual threat. He's not a dual threat. You know what I'm saying? He's not like, you know, not a dual threat, but he's also not necessarily a dual threat. I think for him, you know, if you're gonna disrespect him by giving him dual threat, let's give him escape artist. I don't even know what you could give. Omaha? We'll give him Omaha. Not bad for a guy that I think a lot of people are already going to be saying he's a system quarterback out of Ohio State. Well, this system quarterback in year 2 is about to go on and win a Super Bowl. Let's go. CJ Stroud, Josh Jacobs, Davante Adams, revenge game. Opening drive, Packers get nothing. We get 3, we have to settle for 3. You know, anytime you go to a sim, it does feel comforting knowing that you got a good kicker, which we do in Daniel Carlson. Because, you know, in sim you do get a lot of field goal opportunities. And it's a low-scoring game. Turnover. First touchdown goes to the Green Bay Packers, and they're able to get 3 before the end of the first half. Our team is struggling immensely, able to get a touchdown, tied up 13. Green Bay responds right away with another touchdown. We give them a touchdown, all tied up at 20 in the fourth quarter. Who wants it more? We get the instant touchdown after their field goal. Our defense gets a stop. 3rd down. 3rd and inches. This will be the one play we run. It'll be Josh Jacobs. We're going to run to the outside. We're going to run behind the great blocker known as Darren Waller. And we're going to put this game away. And we get to the outside. And the confetti is going to be silver and black. Wait, why didn't we not kill the game off? How do you not what? Win. If we don't... There was a minute and 10 seconds. Like, how, I didn't even need to run it back. I don't even care about the Super Bowl celebration. They had no timeouts. They had 1 timeout. It was 1st down and less than 2 minutes in the game. How did they get enough time to get the ball back, go on a drive? God, the sim, man. What are we doing? If we would have lost this Super Bowl, I would have probably just ended the video right there. Luckily, we have 2 more years to try to run it as a CJ Stroud dynasty. But that's all it takes, Raider fans. You just got to pull the plug on Derek Carr. Give up. Admit it's not going to work out. It's also not likely going to work out with your head coach, but he's still there. You got Renfro cheering him on. CJ Stroud, Super Bowl champion, Vegas Raiders. Super Bowl MVP. Can we guess from the stat line who got it? Super Bowl MVP. CJ Stroud, I mean, not bad. 296, 2 touchdowns. It's probably going Josh Jacobs over the $135. So Stroud got his X factor. We had McLean was our hidden dev Garrett. He pops star. Frost was our hidden dev tight end. He pops star. On the defensive side, we had Beck superstar. Let's go, nose tackle. 1st round pick at a wazoo. I think that might be our first 350 with a superstar. Usually you just copy and paste star dev insane strength, like 93, 94, 95 plus strength. Both Long and Diablo go up dev trait. We saw the retirement of Chandler Jones, went out on top. So we got an idea of where we need to get better. We need a pass rusher. On the offensive side, we could use more upside wide receiver 3. I don't know. We need a pass rusher. We're going to the offense off-season needing just one thing. Let's get a pass rusher. We went in with a big offer on the best pass rusher. He's a mercenary at this point in time in his career, Von Miller. And he told us to go after ourselves. Unfortunately, as much as I want Kyle Pitts, we don't need Kyle Pitts for the landscape of this rebuild. There's literally nothing else that is even remotely interesting, I don't think. Son Riddick could have been our backup option. He signed. Darius Smith. So let's just hope there's a pass rusher that's second round grade or below in the draft that can come in and start for us as a rookie day one. No pressure. I was like kind of looking, and honestly, there's a couple pass rushers that I think could be of value. Jose Ward could potentially fall to that, late first, early second round range. We got Monty McGill of South Carolina, looks kind of interesting as a speed rusher. On the other side, Devontae Billingsley. This looks like a guy, sound like Chris Collinsworth out of Florida, that I want to trade up for. I feel like it's realistic. He has elite speed, elite acceleration. But look at this guy. Malachi White, top 5. I don't know if he's going to go first overall, but it has been a minute. Like, this might be borderline generational. I wonder if I could trade my final picks of this draft, first, to get this guy. A finesse, A power, A tackle, and the combine, elite speed, elite change of direction, elite. I need him. Unfortunately, just look at the mock drafts. Damn it, man. There's like that guy's gonna be like an 84 or something crazy. Like, I don't know. Can I trade up? Curiosity, Dolphins have 1-1, and they want Jedrick Will. They want my 2 starting linemen and a starting. Can't do that. Can't sabotage. We'll just trade up for Billingsley. Fucking Vikings, man. Unbelievable. I literally was like, should I trade here with Minnesota? God damn it. I think we just wait and see now. Ward is the guy we scouted, and then it's like, do we go with athleticism and ignore the key ratings with Carter Drew 6'1", built like Elvis Dumerville. I can't. I gotta go check the rating of those. I can't believe we missed both of them. Pass rush. I'm shocked Billingsley wasn't into the 20s. Like, that was like, that was a reach by the Vikings, and of course it was a reach. You got Matt Bones out of UCLA is one of our options. But when in doubt, you go with the best athlete. And the best athlete that's a pass rusher is our Elvis Dumerville hybrid here. Carter Drew out of Georgia. B finesse, A tackle. Let's only look at those and focus on the athleticism. At least you got a dev trade. Great athlete as well. He's no Billingsley. And obviously we weren't able to get the first overall pick. But, silver line, that's not a bad player, considering he was literally our last option. Draft recap time. Let's take a look at the draft that was. And we, solid depth guys really throughout. Joel Paxson, free safety in the second round, 72. Just some depth there. But Carter Drew, I'll take 73 hidden dev. He's going to play. He's going to have to start. He's going to have to find a way to be great. But that's a good starting point, all things considered. Now, let's look at the Vikings. Billingsley. Well, the Vikings just absolutely crushed it. Third round, they got a hidden dev guard. Second round, they got a 76 corner with a hidden dev. And Billingsley, 76. Normal. Okay, there's your little trade-off. The higher rating, only a normal dev. I don't know. What do you guys think? What would you prefer? Dev trade or not? I mean, the fact that he's playing and starting right away for us means, you don't have to worry about, like, getting a guy that's sitting and risking dev. But anyways, here's Malachi White. Just seeing, that's pretty much a generational pass rusher. 80 hidden dev. If he's superstar or X Factor, he'll fit the bill. If it's X Factor, that's a baller. Year 4 for the Vegas Raiders are going to defend our Super Bowl title with our X Factors on offense. And on the defensive side, we got ourselves a brand new pass rusher Might not have been the one that we wanted all along, but it's one that we got. And honestly, we could probably kick Benton here to right end. 6'4", 316. You know, a little bit on the bigger side, but we need those guys to be run stuffers. We don't need them to really get much pass rush. That is the job of Max Crosby and our brand new rookie. Optimism is very high that at minimum we get back to the playoffs. And let's try to get this dynasty going. Oh yeah, here's how you defend your title. 3-5 midway point. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting from the Raiders. But we got some contracts to talk about. First up, we got Colton Miller at left tackle. He's developed nicely. One of the rare good picks from the... wasn't he one of Mayock's guys? We got AJ Cole, keep the special teamers where it's at. Same with Daniel Carlson for the remainder of the rebuild. You only got one more year left. This is the final negotiation window for guys that that can run the gauntlet for us. I think Taylor Rapp's been more than serviceable at safety. Also unlikely we'd be able to find an upgrade at both safety spots, let alone just one. I think we could probably upgrade Rocky Sin. Can probably upgrade all of these other remaining spots, and we have $78 million to do so. That's great. It's like I can rage spend when the team underperforms here in a couple more weeks once we get the end of the year. We go for winning the Super Bowl, having an MVP quarterback to 6-11, back to where we started with Derek Carr. Stroud still played well, kind of. Yards about the same, touchdowns, interceptions is not brutal. It's not last in the division. Josh Jacobs, very similar stat line. Really, offensively, copy and paste stat line for what we've had for our great years. Defensively, this is where you might have to rage spend, getting in zero form of sacks or pressures, which is disgusting. Diablo, that team with 3 interceptions. So we've, in this rebuild, we haven't got a lot of turnovers from our corners, and the sacks have fallen off a cliff over the last 2 years. Literally, where is Carter Drew? Our rookie, 32 tackles. He finishes with, unveils with a star dev. Yeah, very happy that we got $80 million, so I can literally go try to fix this defense to win one last Super Bowl in year 5. Chiefs beat the Giants 49-28 in the Super Bowl. More so, I want to see just how hardly the bad year hits our squad. Honestly, not too bad. Our offense, we gained an X factor as Darren Waller went back up. And on the defensive side, we didn't lose a single dev. That is an absolute win. All right, so for our final free agent spot, literally threw as much money as we can around. And, we got Hamilton, who'd be our upgrade, slight upgrade, very slight, over Bilal Nichols on the D-line. I'm going to try and get Gilmore if he wants to come into a contender. Same with Jamal Adams. I'm not going to overpay, but Von Miller would be the big get. Missed out on him last year. Had to go with the rookie, and we fucking got the last guy. The last guy. I don't even think there's anybody worth, now I'm just who's stupid? Who's someone stupid? Special teamers. We can get special teamers. I guess Drake London? Don't need ya. But we'll take ya just cause I have so much money. Leave it to me. Time I get top 5 pick. And there's no generational guy, right? No generational guy, even in range. Yeah, I'm going to use top 5 pick on a guy that's projected to barely crack the first. I don't know. I guess we'll go pass rusher. Maybe this guy's the best. Painter. Get out of this. Dakota Painter. Nebraska. Sure. And we're our draft recap. On a absolute guess of a pick. Painter. Not much better than our first rounder last year. Very similar build as well. Second round, we got Delonte Meeks, who actually looks kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I just simmed that one. And the computer hooked us out. The computer's like, here's your pass rusher. Try this guy out. This is what you need to succeed. I think he's got a little bit loose here because we already have the Super Bowl in hand. But this team is too good to not be, on a certain trajectory. This team's way too good to be last place in the division. So, Meeks isn't even, we didn't draft him, so I wasn't, emotionally attached. He's not better than Carter Drew. Gonna go with the guy that we actually drafted. Secondary's a little bit, oh my God. Wheels kind of fell off. Team's kind of held together by duct tape. It's the offense. We need this offense to carry us into the playoffs here in year 5. All right, bring it live, man. We're just straight up simming the whole year. If we're not good enough, we're not good enough. If we are good enough, which we should absolutely be good enough, we will at least go 9-8 and not make the playoffs our final year. At least we had some magic, and we were able to capture that magic when it happened. CJ Stroud up to a 99. He was our answer. Quickly moving on from Derek Carr. Brought us a Super Bowl. And unfortunately, the rest of the team kind of sucked. Look at the 99s for the guy, man. We'll check out all the stats. But first, let's see why we sucked. Did we suck because our offense was too good? Right? Like, were we too good? We put up too much numbers? And the sim had to, like, make our defense so bad that CJ Stroud's second. He was second in passing yards. He was third in touchdowns. Might win his second MVP. Okay, actually, no, he won't. Those interceptions, a little high. 18's a little high for the Ohio State product. Josh Jacobs, very consistent. Devontae, we have 3. The first time, almost 4,000-yard receivers. Drake London, very productive. Coming in as, like, just a last-second panic signing. Diablo over 100 tackles. We got 20 sacks, Max Crosby. That's where we need. Interceptions have never been high, though. Maybe sticking with the... Here I am talking like it was a failure. We won a Super Bowl. But maybe sticking with, like, the Nate Hobbs, Clark Phillips, who we drafted early, Moreg. You know, maybe we could have been more aggressive in getting, like, an X-Factor type corner. But I don't know, man. I feel like our team absolutely underperformed down the stretch here. But we had the Super Bowl, which makes it overall sting a lot less. CJ Stroud in his career, 20,000 yards passing, 150 touchdowns, 42 picks. Outstanding. Josh Jacobs over 10K rushing yards, double, triple digit touchdowns. 112 for him. Obviously, Devontae's crushing it. A lot of those numbers were with Aaron Rodgers. Darren Waller, 8,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. 7,000 yards, 50 touchdowns for Renfro. On the defensive side, we have more so Diablo because Rapp did some of that with the Rams. 600 tackles for him. 81 sacks, 97 TFLs for Max Crosby. Beck, our big old D tackle, 28 TFLs. Just not a lot of sacks. Very disappointed, but I mean, again, it's a 3-4 defense. Not a lot of sacks come out of a 3-4 defense. It's unfortunate. It's kind of the nature of the beast. 7 picks, Diablo, 6 picks for Clark Phillips, the third. All in all, though, does go down a successful rebuild. I'm happy to be back in a little bit of a rhythm here with the realistic rebuilds. I'm going to give you guys a vote on what because I kind of got 2 that I want to do next. And I want you guys to be deciders. Do we stay in the AFC West and do we let's ride? And do we try to fix the Broncos with Russ? Or is it time we finally do some version of a Houston Texans rebuild? Be it just a regular rebuild, regular draft classes, or a realistic rebuild. Let me know in the comment section below. That'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you're first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Try to shoot for 1,000 likes on all of our rebuilds. And guys, I'll see you back here on the next one. I think it's going to be Panthers. Could be Pink Slips. Stay tuned for your sub boxes. Till next time, it's Boise 4. Say peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.